So the things we don't say is a concept that we were bouncing around because we know there's so much going on up here that never comes out here, but everybody else already knows it.
Yes, and pretend
So
that it's not there.
when you walked in and you asked me, am I okay? I could lie and tell you I am. But then you would go, okay, Casey doesn't want to talk about it.
That's right. Even though I could see it,
Yeah.
right? We pretend that people cannot see it, but we have that energy. We have that expression of our faces, and we're able to, we just, yeah, oh yeah, I'm well, I'm good, everything is okay.
I'm doing better than somebody else. So
That's
I'm
right.
fine. I'm fine. When the reality is that we get the opportunity to be who we are, experiencing what we're experiencing, and that is okay. Yeah.
And also that goes back to being okay with not being okay. Right? That's one of my favorites. Being okay with not being okay.
Yeah, I say that I'm okay to not be okay. I'm just not okay to get stuck there.
That's right. We don't have to stay there. Recognizing that it's okay not to be okay, but we don't have to stay there.
So how long can we stay there before it's not okay?
I don't think it has a time limit because it's according to what you are going through or we are going through in that very moment, right? We're not going to compare like grieving a person with just a minor thing like we forgot the microphone, right?
True.
So, but asking the question to ourselves, I believe that we don't ask questions enough of ourselves. Like, okay, what can I learn in this moment? Or what could have I done differently in this very moment?
Yeah.
Right? Like, or what can I do now to make a different choice, or create a different outcome or transformation? But ask ourselves those questions, and then the answers will come, and then we feel better instead of the shame or the guilt of oh my God, I should have done all this or have that ready or little things like that.
So I'm gonna pull just a concept that you just dropped on the table there that it's okay to not be okay. And there's not a quantifiable time limit to it.
Correct.
But I might say what I heard is it's okay to not be okay unless being there produces guilt, shame, fear, disappointment, and there's a whole list of words here. So when I'm not okay, if I feel ashamed that I'm not okay, it's not okay.
No, because then you go to a different path.
Go to a different path.
Yeah.
But if I'm not okay and I embrace that I'm not okay, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, because you understand.
I hope somebody else can follow that.
Right,
Slow it
I
down.
know, slowly.
Slow it down. When I'm not okay, it's okay to not be okay as long as I'm okay with it.
Yes, and understanding that it's just part of life, right? It's totally just part of life. We're not going to stay there, and we're going to ask ourselves the questions to be better or to transform or to make that shift.
And maybe it's not only, I'm going to do it again, it's okay to not be okay when you're okay, not being okay. We might even put a layer on that goes, it's a whole lot better to acknowledge that you're not okay.
Yes, because you bring aware.
Yeah.
Awareness.
Than going through the hypocritical mask of pretending. It's so much better to have a reality check of I'm miserable than to be living in a fantasy world of no, it's fine.
Yes. And we're living in a fantasy world saying, oh, everything's okay, I'm okay. But they're inside our head. There comes the judgment and the guilt and I'm not good enough. And it just becomes more chaotic without realizing that that's going to create more experiences that are not okay.
We put our toes in the water to get to the point that we were recognizing that there's a place to express the thoughts that are going on in our head without judgment, without fear.
Yes. Without guilt.
Without guilt, without shame. And as we move in that direction, we recognize that that is completely contrary to the way most people approach life.
Yes.
So the normal, or the, I don't like the word normal, but um, the vastly accepted way of life is, um, there's a vault that I keep up here that nobody gets access to, because if you knew the thoughts that I was thinking, you wouldn't like me.
That's right.
And because I'm the one that knows the thoughts I'm thinking, I don't like me. So I'm going to create a persona so that you might possibly like me, even though it's contrary to who I am and what I
Yes.
think and how I feel. What a difficult place to hold all that together.
It is. It is. And that's where problems arises. And I don't mean as a problem of having one problem, but where the soul gets depressed.
Yeah.
When we start, being sad for no reason, no
Yeah.
reason.
I'm going to even say when sickness starts creeping in
When
and we're just going,
sickness,
I can't shake it. Well,
right?
yeah,
Because our soul is like we're just tired of pretending, even though we might not realize that we're pretending, but we're just trying to fit in, and we don't want to be honest with who we are, honest with ourselves,
yeah.
first and foremost. Because if you're not honest with you, how are you going to be honest with me? Just like say for a minute, how are you, Casey? Oh, I'm fine, just pretending that you're okay. You're lying to yourself, and then, it comes across to everybody else, right? Like I had a hard morning, but then it's okay. Like it's just the
Yeah.
awareness.
And I didn't, just bringing you in, if you're listening, I didn't have a hard morning. In fact, it was
Correct.
an easy morning, but something's off.
And that's okay.
And Martha just simply asked, "Hey, you doing okay?" No, I don't know what it is. Is it the anticipation of this conversation? No, because it's not our first conversation.
That's right.
That's not. Is it something in the universe? I'm okay with that, but we can go down lots of roads. But if I blame it on the universe, then I'm really not acknowledging where I'm at in it.
That's right, because you're not taking responsibility of.
So to simply say, no, it's I need to get recentered. I need to choose. I want to choose to figure out what's not okay. And the only way to figure out what's not okay is actually being honest with myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bringing the awareness. Once again, asking the questions, right? Like, why am I feeling this way today? Or, I mean, sometimes, that happens to me too. Everything is going well, but I blame it on my hormones, but, my hormones are mine.
Yeah, they're not mine.
But it's like understanding and asking yourself, okay, what's going on here? Or what can I do different? Or maybe I just need to sit down and pray and meditate for a little bit and just focus and, breathing. I believe that breathing is amazing. Like it's just like take a moment to just take a nice deep breath and hold it and exhale. I mean, and you even know that when you breathe, like consciously breathing, because we're breathing all the time, but actually taking the time to breathe, it does lower our stress hormones. It lowers our blood pressure, like everything. When you just take a couple minutes of actually taking a nice deep breath and hold it and exhale.
Could it be that easy?
I think we just make it hard, but it is that easy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Could it be that easy? And the answer is yes. The things that we don't say is it's really not hard. But we make it hard.
Absolutely.
And I think we make it hard because we're taught, trained, and prepared that it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
Get ready for the fight. Get trained and prepare.
Yeah.
And know that if you don't get yourself ready, you're going to get consumed and beat up. And then somebody like Martha comes into your world and says, hey, let's just take a deep breath and release that.
Yeah, let's pray.
I remember when I started learning that I needed to unlearn.
Oh, God, yes, all the time. And we still, the more we live, the more we realize we got to unlearn and unlearn and unlearn.
We have such an accumulation mentality, especially just put it in a blanket statement of the United States, the accumulate, gain,
More,
grow,
more.
add. And that's what worth is all about. That's where value comes in, is more is better. And there's so many reasons why we can say that's not true.
Absolutely.
And yet what we're unpacking right here is we can say that out loud.
Definitely. We could say it out loud. Yeah.
So what's our invite, Martha? I don't know. You and I are on a journey to go. We're not looking to produce a content-rich experience. We're not trying to, hey, these are the 10 things you need to know.
No, we're just sharing our life, right? Our experiences.
Is that acceptable? Is that enough?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. That's totally enough because, like, okay, so for example, I told you, okay, why don't we just take a deep breath and pray, right? It's easy for me to say that to you. But when I'm in that situation of chaotic, I don't remember, wait, Martha, just take a deep breath, right? Sometimes somebody else has to say, hey, take a nice deep breath.
Yeah.
So sharing those experiences, knowing that we don't, sometimes it's okay to be in the chaotic moment, but that's why we have things like this, like podcasts like this, to remind us, like, hey, it's okay, take a deep breath. Oh, that's true. Wait, I forgot. It's okay to forget. So it's just a reminder. Sharing your experiences, the tools that we have, not that you have to follow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but just knowing that it's life.
The metaphor, the concept, the picture that you just gave was as not new to me, maybe new to you. Just as a baby starts walking, they take one step and then they fall, and then everybody cheers. And then we go, yeah, you took a step. And then we go, let's do it again. And then they take one step again and then they fall. And we cheer again. And we have such peace that when that baby is learning how to walk, that they're not expected to go run.
True.
And yet somewhere along the way, we drop that off.
Yes.
And we wouldn't dare to take a first step unless we knew we had a guarantee that 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is going to be successful.
Yeah.
And so I love that what you've invited us to model here this morning is we took a step and we fell. We started and then realized the microphone was over there. We started and we realized we're not ready to start. We got to pray and reset. We started and we didn't have a finish line.
Because it's important to remember that it's consistency, not perfection. It's consistency.
Do you really believe that?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that? I believe it. I just got to practice it.
Yeah, we have to every day.
Yeah.
We never get there. It's an everyday thing. It's consistency, not perfection. And that's where issues arise because we want it to be perfect the first time instead of understanding that it's just consistency. It's like saving. It's like exercising. It's like everything else is the consistency.
Just savoring that.
Not the perfection.
Consistency is being able to recognize that small steps have a big impact.
Absolutely.
And the invite I would give anybody listening is the smaller you can make the steps to be consistent with, the more likely you're going to fulfill them.
Absolutely.
So rather than thinking, what can I do consistently and setting the bar high, really what you're inviting us to do is set the bar low and then repeat.
Yeah, because then you will get to the higher. Let's just use as an example cleaning the house. Okay, because that's everybody can relate, I believe. So if I clean my house, once a week, really good, and there I go and spend 3 hours or whatever it is that I'm going to take the time to clean the house, it's great.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm going to have a clean house. But then if I don't have the small habits of maintaining the house clean, right? Cleaning the house, it's always going to be a big chore. Right? But if I make my bed every morning, or I'm in the habit of just taking my clothes and put it in the basket, or using the brush and put it in the drawer, those little things, or using one plate and washing it and put it away, then the actual end result of what is having the house clean, it's not going to be as hard as having to clean a messy house every week. That those little steps of just putting the clothes in the dirty close. And that is
Yeah.
consistency, not perfection.
I can't help but to go, but Martha, I've been trying to teach my kids that all my life.
Don't worry about you. You do it first. Don't worry about your kids. Oh, that's what happens when we have
Isn't
kids.
it though?
Absolutely. Ooh,
And I said that not because my kids don't have it, but I anticipated maybe how Martha would come back and go, Casey, it's not about your kids, it's about you. And then my wife would be listening to this going, yeah, I found your shoes the other day. They weren't where they go. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
The things we don't say is that we just want everybody else to accept us in our inconsistencies. But yet we expect everybody else to work on that. Let me say that differently.
Yes.
Why can't everybody else just accept me the way I am, where I in turn am doing the same thing to everybody else? Hey, it's okay. It's okay if I'm not consistent, but it's not okay if you're not consistent because I'm depending on you to be consistent. Is my thought coming out clear?
Okay. You mean because we judge? Like we think you should be consistent regardless if I'm not consistent?
If you're inconsistent, it affects me negatively. If I'm inconsistent, it doesn't affect me negatively in my head.
Oh, I see.
That's just who I am.
Oh, well, that's just an excuse that you're putting that's who you are. You're just using this as an excuse.
Oh,
but I
Martha.
know that we are touching people in here. We are that are ready for transformation. That want that little extra something. I'm not saying 100%, but just like I said, you know, little by little, say. So, right? Because it starts with us.
It does start with us. I just wanted to figure out if I could sneak by you the excuse realm, and I didn't.
No,
No,
because that's just an excuse.
it wouldn't work for me either. But isn't it amazing how quickly we can justify the way we think about things?
Absolutely.
And that justification becomes an excuse because that's just who I am. I'm fascinated by the way people label themselves externally and then defend it.
Yes, it's the protective mechanism, right? We just want to, no, you don't understand. You can do that, but not me because A, B, and C.
I'm interrupting, Martha. Have you ever said that to somebody? I'm asking you the question. Have you ever said that to them? No, but you just don't understand my situation. You don't understand what I'm going through. You don't understand, and the invitation there is help me understand.
Yeah. Well, instead of blaming or putting an excuse, asking the question, right? Or what can I do different? Or how do you do it? Because I'm sure it's not easy for you too, but asking those questions again and understand that, it's possible for everybody.
Yeah, and I think
everybody.
I think the reason why people don't understand, I don't think that's an incorrect statement. It takes listening and engagement and commitment to understand.
Commitment.
But I really believe the reason why people don't understand is there's so many things we don't say out loud.
Of course.
I mean,
why would I tell you?
I'm not actually going to tell you what's going on in my head, in my heart, in my life. I just want you to know you can't understand. That way I don't have to articulate it.
That's right. Then I don't have to show you who I really am, or I don't have to share my thoughts of unworthiness or thinking I can't, I don't want to. You know what I mean? All those thoughts that we don't want to share because we're embarrassed, because we believe that we're not going to be as worthy if we share those thoughts.
So if we pull that thread all the way through, there's a lot of relationships that we live into an excuse and justify that people don't understand us. And yet the reason why people don't understand us is because we've got a whole rat's nest of thinking going on upstairs that has become our excuse to being unable to articulate it out because it's too dangerous.
Very dangerous. And more now, I believe, with all this positive thinking going on, right? The classes about positive thinking and how important it is. I think we become more, how do I want to say it? More careful, or we think that having bad thoughts is not good, therefore we don't want to share that my God or mine. But it's not positive thinking. It's not about not just having bad thoughts, because the thoughts are going to rise to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely everybody has those thoughts. It's just not staying there or understanding, or wait, where is that coming from? Why is that fear? Why am I feeling that way, or why am I having that thought? And then asking those questions again and then changing it. But it's okay to have the thoughts, just not staying there, understand it and change it.
You're granting a whole lot of permission.
Yeah.
I feel the permission to actually be me. And I think that's our hope, is that somebody listening to this would maybe dare for the first time to embrace themselves.
Yeah.
There are things going on in our heads that are not us. I'm going to say that
Yes.
another way. You are not your thoughts.
Correct.
I mean, let that sink in for a little bit. You are not your thoughts. Then who am I?
The beautiful soul that we are.
And we can pull that out. You are not a whole lot of other things either. But you are a compilation of all the things that you continue to think.
Yeah.
And what you believe and what you do and how you treat yourself and how you treat others.
Yeah. And a belief can be changed.
Amen.
A belief can be changed. So all those false beliefs that we may have about ourselves, they can be changed. That, oh no, but I'm that way. Oh no, it can be changed. Right?
Yeah.
We see it over and over. It can be changed.
We are either fixed and limited, or we are set free and filled with abundance.
Yeah.
What do you believe? And I've had people say, Casey, I'm glad that you think that way. I just don't think like that. And I go, I didn't always think like that.
That's right.
But man, I'm so grateful I changed my thinking. And it's not just a pop psychology. It's not just,
No.
silver linings. Everything's a silver lining. It's actually recognizing that there is impact in the way that we think. And the things that we don't say out loud are just as real as this plant sitting here.
Yes.
And that's a mindset shift. And go down that path to go, how could that be? No, the plant, the fake plant is more real than the thought that I don't think out loud.
That's right, yeah.
No.
And also understanding that it's small changes. Small changes. We don't need to create this big change overnight, because then that's when it becomes harder, because we want it to be, the transformation. Hey, wait, I just have a few, positive thoughts. I'm not thinking negative. I'm asking the question and nothing happens. Nothing's going to happen overnight. Again, it's consistency, taking the time and understanding that it's a daily routine, daily. You're not going to eat a salad one time and then be healthy, right? It's a process.
Shoot. I ate that salad yesterday thinking it was going to fix everything.
It's a process.
I remember when, and my family still gives me a hard time about this. I don't think I ate anything green until I was a teenager, and even then it was begrudgingly. And now I love vegetables and the desires, and that's okay. Don't be in a hurry. And if you're at a place today that you go, no, you don't understand, we just covered that, go back and talk about that. Or you don't know what it's really like to be me, we kind of touched on that. And I think we have a lot of opportunity here to invite people to embrace yourself.
Yeah.
I like that title. Not that we need to title anything. Embrace yourself.
Embrace yourself. Yeah. And take the time. Don't rush it.
But now I like the title, Brace Yourself. Martha and Casey are about brace yourself.
But yeah, take the time.
Strap yourself to the mast pole of the ship. We're going for a ride.
Yes.
The invitation is to be you.
Absolutely.
Martha and I are here to be ourselves.
To share our true selves with the good, with the not so good, with the rusty, with everything. Because that's what being human is.
Amen.
Perfectly imperfect.
We'll tackle lots of topics. We don't know where we're going. We'll see what comes up each day, but there's no topic off the table. That's where Martha and I are committed to come to the table to say there is no topic that we're going to take off the table. We're just going to share the things that we don't always say out loud.
That's right.
We're going to do it here.
Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll do this again.
Bye-bye.